So I'm going to be reading from the Torah a little bit later because we've got a minion here this morning. And the Torah portion is going to be on page 346 is where I'm going to start. But I want you to take a look on page 342. And 342 is an unusual page because it doesn't say the number 342 on it. It takes faith to be able to find it. Do you see 343? I don't know why they didn't put 342 on that page, but they didn't. There is a 36 years ago. How many of you kids remember back 36 years ago? Yes. I was in my second year of rabbinical school, which means I didn't know very much. And I didn't even think I knew very much. And there was a small congregation in Tucson, Arizona that needed someone to teach classes and lead services and do bar mitzvah training and be like the rabbi, but they couldn't afford a full-time rabbi. So I would fly out from Los Angeles, where the seminary was, Hebrew Union College, once a month to go there. And I really didn't know all that much, but I tried plenty hard and smiled a lot, which will get you through a lot of things. There was one man, he was a senior faculty on the University of Arizona Law School. He was a lawyer. His name was Winton Woods, or he went by Woody Woods. Yeah, lovable man, not Jewish. He married a lovely woman named Bobby, and he wanted to study about Judaism. And we got to page 342. It was this week's Torah portion, actually, and we were looking at it. And he looked at that map, and he had what's called an epiphany. Does anyone know what an epiphany is? We don't normally talk about epiphanies in the synagogue. You know what an epiphany?
Clarity, just where things kind of make sense, or
yeah,
idea popped in your head.
like
Something profound.
and suddenly you can see clearly. He looked at page 342 and he could see clearly. And I want you to take a look. I want you to put your finger on where Mount Sinai is on that map. This traces the route that we came from when we crossed the Sea of Reeds, Yam Suf, Red Sea, and we sang the Micha Mocha. Put your finger on Mount Sinai. You see it there? What? I'm sorry? No. I thought you said there were two.
Keep going. Keep going.
Oh, well, put your finger on where the Sea of Reeds is, Yam Suf, where we crossed over. You can see right there. This is a map of the Sinai Desert and part of Israel. You can see a little bit of Jerusalem, goes up to Jerusalem there, and part of Egypt. It shows our exodus, the way we went, according to different theories described by the Torah. All right, so what happened is Woody Woods, who was much more senior than I, and actually 36 years ago, I actually spoke with him a couple years back, still plenty sharp. That's a long time for a guy to be. Anyways, he went and he got the Bible that he was given when he had his consecration or confirmation. And he showed me his little Bible, and he flipped, and there was a picture just like this picture, only it wasn't like it at all. It was a picture that showed the Exodus, and there was only one Mount Sinai. One place that was a Mount Sinai. And here this is right next to, it's right in the middle of our Torah, our Bible. So it's got to be, they're not going to mess around with you. And he looked at all those different Mount Sinais and all those different Sea of Reeds, and his face lit up, and he said words I will never forget. He said, "Now I why there are so many Jewish lawyers." very, and it was a real moment for him. And it was then that he decided that he really, well, maybe he decided before, but he decided he really wanted to be Jewish. And we actually did several months later, he flew out to California because I didn't have the power vested in me at the time. I wasn't ordained. And the dean of the college and I together worked for his conversion to Judaism. But there's something really, really, really Jewish about this picture. It is an honest statement of, if there's something we don't know, we tell you we don't know. Or we think different things. We're not going to tell you something is certain if we don't know it for sure. That is a very Jewish concept. It's also a real Jewish concept to look at things from many perspectives. The Jews were the very first people in the world to record any legal document with both the majority opinion and the minority opinion. So you can see how we think, so we can see the different perspectives. Every book from the ancient world is written from the perspective of the people who knew how to write. And those were only the kings and their scribes. The only histories that we have written down are the histories of kings, except the Jews. Here we have, and I'm about to read, the story of slaves. We're about to read the stories of two people who are real heroes, the ones that helped out with the births, probably one of the lowest stations in Egyptian society, the midwives. And not only that, these heroes are women. Do you know how long it took the rest of the world to catch on that women could be heroic? Do you have any idea? And they spoke to Pharaoh. Pharaoh said, kill all the boys, when the Jewish boys, when they're born. There's too many of them. They might rise up against us. And these two midwives, Shiphrah and Puah, they didn't do that. And Pharaoh says, what's going on here? And they lied to Pharaoh. They said, these Jewish women, they give birth so fast, the baby's gone. We couldn't do anything. They lied to Pharaoh. Isn't that interesting? It's pretty heroic because that's a dangerous thing to do. And God rewarded them greatly for their actions, for their heroism. Just a little segue. This is two very big Jewish concepts. One, if we don't know something, we say we don't know it. We show the minority opinion, the opposite side, and you learn a lot from that. And we try to find lots of different perspectives on a matter. These are real basic Jewish concepts, basic, fundamental. And we think, yeah, of course, they're just good things. Everyone does it. No, not everyone does it. Jews brought it into the world. That's also the essence of what we're going to be doing the day after tomorrow on Sunday when we go on the Shema tour. We're going to take a look at the world from different perspectives. I think there's still like 8 more seats available on the bus if you want to sign up for it. We meet at 9 o'clock. We're going to go see a church on the north end of Hartford, and the amazing, amazing work that they do. And the basement, the church is really small, about half the size of this room, the whole church. But in their basement, they have one of the absolute highlights of the city of Hartford. And I'm not going to tell you what it is. Incredible. Incredible what they have and what they do. We're going to go see Rabbi Allen, his work with at the Hebrew Center with the elderly of our community, and there's a lot that goes on there. And they're going to give us a kosher lunch there as well. They're going to treat us nice. And then we're going to go see an animal shelter. Because I'm working with Laura Saul-Boxterman, and she's kind of partial to animals and wanted everyone to go see what happens to animals. So you know what? When you're the head of the Social Action Committee, you get to pick certain things. We'll see it. It'll be fun. And then next week, a week from tomorrow, we're going to meet and talk about which project at one of those three places we are going to do as a whole congregation. Definitely plan to be a part of the Shema tour on Monday. It's an important part of what it means to be a member of Temple Beth Hillel, to see the world from different perspectives. And definitely plan to be a part, even if you can't be there Monday, next Sunday, to help vote on what project we are going to do as a whole congregation. That's right after Sunday school, not tomorrow, but a week from tomorrow. So we learn a lot in this crossing of the Red Sea and where Mount Sinai is in the Exodus. In fact, we want to remember that like every day, the joy of crossing the Red Sea when the slaves were freed. And we sing in every service the Micha Mocha.